With more than half of the Afghan population suffering from what the UN calls extreme levels of hunger, the Secretary-General Antonio Guterres again sounded the alarm.
6 months after the takeover by the Taliban, Afghanistan is hanging by a thread. For Afghans, daily life has become a frozen hell.
One of Afghanistan's best-known women's rights campaigners, who still lives in Kabul, came to New York to address the Security Council.
After 20 years of tasting freedom, working, studying, playing sports, performing music, it has taken less than 6 months to completely dismantle the rights of the women and girls across the country.
Her account was backed by the UN's special representative inside Afghanistan. DEBORAH LYONS said a number of women activists had recently been abducted and then had disappeared. She said this was part of a wider, deeply worrying pattern.
And here on the ground, there is compelling evidence of an emerging environment of intimidation and a deterioration in respect for human rights. This suggests that the consolidation of government authority may be leading toward control of the population by fear rather than by understanding and responding to its needs.
The meeting was presided over by Norway's Prime Minister Jonas Gahr Støre. His government flew a Taliban delegation for talks in Oslo with international diplomats and Afghan civil society in recent days. In an interview for Talk to Al Jazeera, he told me this was not meant to give the group legitimacy or recognition.
To me, it looks like this. If we don't sit down with them, present the expectation, the demands and what they have to deliver, Afghanistan is going to sink down in a tremendous humanitarian disaster.
Most of Afghanistan's reserves remain frozen, but the UN wants to change that. Without renewed liquidity in the Afghan economy, there's a risk the dire humanitarian situation becomes a countrywide famine. On the other hand, some nations still worry about rewarding the Taliban when the human rights situation, in particular the treatment of women, seems to be getting worse, not better. James Bays, Al Jazeera at the United Nations.